This is a review of Merchants, the game by Catalyst Game Labs by Reiner Knizia. I found this a very fun and fast-paced game. Each game lasts about 20 minutes, and it's a good amount of fun. But while it's a very light game, there are definitely some interesting decisions to be had. That's probably more apparent the second time playing it. So basically, each player starts with a couple of ships and one resource cube on each ship. And the idea is that you play your cards from your hand and cover up any of those 6 that are in the middle of the table, and then you get to immediately score after you do play your cards. And so you get $1 for every resource cube on your ship, multiplied by how many cards of the same color are now face up after you've played your cards. So obviously, if you have a couple of green cubes on your ship, you're going to want to play some green cards and then get a lot of points for it. Also on your turn, there's other things you can do, like you can swap one of your resource cubes, which of course you're going to have to do all the time, because as the green cards kind of run their course, and all of a sudden blue is very popular, you're going to have to go with blue. Of course, all these resources have names like indigo and cotton and whatnot, but eventually it just comes down to colors. You can also buy special cards that give you abilities, like the ability to draw a free card every turn, or the ability to swap 2 cubes at once instead of just 1 cube at a time, which is pretty powerful, and more. Like even buying more ships, which allow you to carry more cubes. And there's also, instead of playing and scoring in your turn, you can draw 2 cards. And that's the only way to get new cards, so obviously you're going to have to balance that. So there's definitely a lot of interesting things about this. Maybe not a lot, but there's a few interesting things about this game that I liked. The fact that some strategies that were interesting was the fact that you could hold back a card from the ones that you were playing, so that in subsequent turn, your next turn after, you could play it again. So instead of, say, for example, you had 4 yellow cards in your hand, you could play all 4 yellow ones of them and then score. If you had 2 yellow cubes in your ships, that would be 2 times 4, you get $8. I'm like, well, that's pretty good. But a wise person might, depending on the circumstances and what everyone else is doing, just play 3 of them. And what? Well, you only get $6. But what happens is the next turn, if everything's still kind of status quo, maybe those 3 are still out there, maybe someone else has added to it, as it happens a lot. People piggyback on other people's kind of work, which is kind of fun. Then you add your final yellow one that you have, and now potentially you're getting another $6 or $8. Potentially more. And that seemed to be a very good strategy to work. Also, obviously, whenever you're playing any of your cards, you're always trying to cover up a card that's valuable to another player. So you obviously want to make sure, oh, he's collecting white, so I'm going to make sure I cover up the white cards. So it was really interesting. I don't know if I would really say, I think I'd give it about a 6.5 out of 10 because it was fun, it was light, it's definitely a nice filler. It's not a need to have, but it was really entertaining. I'll definitely play it a couple more times, and maybe some more of the strategies will become more apparent. I didn't win either of the games I played, so maybe after a few more games I'll get a little bit more of the flavor of it, and the score might increase. But for now, 6.5 out of 10 for Merchants by Reiner Knizia.